some food for thought, and this will probably be multiple topics. Actually, I'm sure it will be. Let's take a look at some obvious things that maybe we're not really observing correctly, okay? Now, they always have to have certain key words and phrases on the mouths and in the ears of humanity before they do things. It's just how they do it. It really is, okay? And, you know, as far as the C-19 went, and a lot of people got, I shouldn't have said everyone, a lot of people got the you-know-what. But the reason I was going to say everyone is because everyone says that word, S-H-O-T. If they were against it or for it, it doesn't matter. It's been coming out of people's mouths and into their ears for a heavy 6 years right now. Worldwide, okay? Why? Okay? I paused there for a reason, because that's what we need to do, okay? You have to pause when you're looking at these things that are done to us. We all know that those things were no good. The VAC, the VAC, the sin, and the nation, the sin of the nation. But do you realize, that's why I said pause before you continually just think, and speak. We can't do that. We have to slow down when we think and speak. So, you know, they could have just as easily sprayed us with something, okay, is what I'm getting at here. You have to really, you know, I say this a lot, don't look topically at this place, because nothing here is. Not one thing here is topical. I don't care what it is, it's not topical. So they could have sprayed us with anything they wanted during that C-19 event. Okay, they could have. And they could have done pretty much anything they wanted to us all along, anywhere, everywhere, through our food, water, and everything. And they do things to us, but what I'm getting at is they didn't have to have an S-H-O-T. Okay, they didn't have to have that coming out of everyone's mouths. They didn't have to do that, okay? They need these words in play like vaccination. You know, everyone should have caught on to that. To be honest with you, everyone should have caught that. Pronounce that slowly and you'll hear vaccination. Well, what's going on there? Well, VAC is the sin, okay? Of the nations. I'm not going to get into that real deep here, but back to this shot thing. The reason they want everyone to hear it, say it, read about it, fight about it, and it's not that we shouldn't be, but we should have went in and taken care of business a long time ago. That's a whole other video there too. They need us to hear the word shot, because they're getting ready to do the shot that was heard around the world. For any of you that haven't heard that catchphrase, look into it and see why it's important. You know, to accomplish what they're doing, they don't need to get us all. They just need to get basically 51%. Okay, really, to create a stampede, and that would wipe out of the 49% that weren't taken by the system to be within the stampede of the 51%, okay? Now this shot heard out around the world, that rang out around the world, that everyone will hear, and I've brought this up already on other videos, but you know, Trump said he could shoot someone in downtown somewhere, I forget, probably New York, in the middle of the day or whatever, and he'd get away with it and they'd vote for him. And I made a video on that. Yes, he could do it. Will he? Who knows, maybe. I look for it more to be like his finger will be on the trigger via someone else because he said that someone needs to be taken out, like a Marjorie Taylor Greene or all these other people. It will look like he done it. And the point is, they'll fight over AI having done that. I know I'm all over the place here, but I'm going somewhere with this ultimately. They don't say anything. Nothing. There are no slip-ups. There are no anythings anywhere at any time, and never have been, that they did not want you to hear. Because you will hear the wrong thing. They don't slip up, okay? Their game has been perfected. Now, they're very stupid. I say that so often, but it's because the masses are gullible. Very gullible. So they don't really need to be smart. They just need a whole lot of games around to trick everyone. So this word shot is on the table. Will it come up soon or Christmas? You know, it could be a spiritual attack they pull. It could be physically on the earth. I kind of look for it to be both. And sooner or later, they have to step things up. Now, it could be that it'll be next Christmas. I don't know. We don't have a whole lot of time, though. That's too obvious for anyone that's got even half of their head in the right place. And don't you all wonder who's even falling for this stuff now? It's less and less all the time. Even the really dumb people, some of them are starting to wake up. Do you think that the evil ones don't know that? That is the plan, okay? This is where I'm talking about stop, pause, and figure out why you're being led to believe what you believe about yourself, all the events, and even the people that don't even believe that what you believe, why they believe what they believe. It's all planned. They need us to self-destruct. That's what's going to happen, for the most part. Why do you think they're always saying and having these events? Oh, yeah, we all pull together. We got to pull together. And right now, that last video I did, the most recent anyway, not the last one, but the recent, All in the Family. You got movies like Family Ties, but All in the Family with Meathead. What was his name? I can't even remember his name, and that's how you should be too. Rob Reiner. All in the Family. And I know I'm jumping all over the place, but you have to grasp this many areas because it's a net, okay? You know, he just happened to be at Charlie Kirk's funeral or something like that, or he spoke on him for quite a while, what a great person he is. And he just happened to have made a movie called Me and Charlie. And try to remember catchphrases. You've all heard them. What about watch out for Charlie? Look into what that really means. It means what you think it does probably, but there's also other meanings throughout the years. All those things are on the table. They're going to do a shot that rang out. Now, you've got the possibility of it just being a gunshot, or maybe they're going to say that we got hit with a nuke somewhere, and it doesn't have to happen, okay? All they have to do is say it happened, shut down the phones in that particular state or area, and quarantine off the area. And the people inside the area would probably be fine for the most part, wouldn't be allowed to leave, and that's how they could do it. Alright, or maybe they'll send a few bombs and really explode them and say they came from somewhere else. Of course, the Russians, because they rush in. All of you, if you speak slower, I know I'm speaking quite fast right now for how I usually speak. I'm actually a very, I don't want to say slow speaker, but I'm more quickly speaking on these videos because I'm often wondering if the recorder is going to shut off. So, anyway, the shot that rang out across the world's coming. That's all in there. And for whom the bell tolls. Check that out. If you ever look at the Capitol building, it's a big bell. This place is nothing but a scripted event, okay? And they want you to take part of this stage because you're just a stage prop to them. Okay? Every single person here. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you believe that or not. You were born in here and became a prop. Unless you live in a jungle somewhere and haven't seen the ridiculous satanic shit show that this is, that we all live in, you've been a prop. Now we know that's going on, so we come out of the staged theater, right? I'm always telling people that come out of the theater because they're going to lock the doors on that theater. They're going to burn the place down. Have you ever been in a theater? Lights out, a lot of people in there. Can you imagine that being stampede? Be bad, wouldn't it? That's what's going to happen here. How much longer? You know, I get asked that fairly often. I might be able to say more clearly what I think on certain dates and times, but it could be this Christmas or before. Now, see, if I was the bad guy, I would pull it a little before to really get the energy out of people, okay? Everyone's kind of down and out right now anyway, if they're honest. And anyone that's not feeling the squeeze of all of this, I'm not sure where you're exactly walking. I know you're supposed to have joy and all that, but you have to be able to sense that things are bad here. I would do it right before Christmas. Okay, I would. If I was the bad guy, that's what would happen, because people are counting on getting together with their families, and there's so many opportunities and to make things bad here for everyone, and they need that energy, okay? They need that energy. That's how these devils live. And for anyone that hasn't been here very long in this channel, I'll go back into my videos and I'll explain how energy gathering is really happening. You have energy in you that is literally being sucked out of you. I jumped around so much, I'm not even sure where I was at. I hope I made a little bit of sense here. But when you're trying to share stuff like I'm doing, it's hard to show the entire net, okay? Yes, enter the net. It's hard to show that you're actually in a net verbally. There's nothing here that isn't entangled. You have to come out of her, okay?